A whisper drifts across the world, a secret spring said to twist time itself. Chasing the rumor, a small team steps into a forgotten jungle where the air feels alive and the shadows breathe as if they've been waiting for centuries. But the deeper they go, the darker the truth becomes. This ancient water doesn't give youth, it takes whatever it desires. And once the forest closes behind you, escape becomes nothing but a fading echo. So, without wasting any time, let's begin the video. The story begins in Malaysia, where we meet Luke, a man escaping with a stolen painting. But he's not alone, some local gang members are after him, desperately trying to get their hands on the painting. They keep calling him, demanding he hand it over. Luke, however, is clever. He suddenly stops his scooter in the middle of the road, causing the gang's speeding car to crash. Still, they continue chasing him on foot. Luckily, the crowded market streets and narrow alleys give Luke the perfect chance to slip away. He races toward the railway station, driving his scooter straight onto the tracks. Just in time, he jumps onto a moving train and manages to escape. That night, as Luke falls asleep, he has a strange dream. In it, he sees a glowing golden mask, radiating light as if trying to tell him something. Then, a mysterious woman named Esme appears. She tells him, "You talk a lot in your dreams, but enough talking, give me the painting you stole. I need to deliver it to my boss." Luke refuses. Esme warns him, "If you don't, my men will beat you to pieces." But Luke points toward a group of Buddhist monks sitting nearby and says, "If you touch me, those men will break your legs with kung fu." Luke tries to outsmart her and escape, but his plan fails. A brutal fight breaks out between them. In the end, Luke manages to trap Esme inside a room, drives off the gangsters, and jumps off the moving train. He quickly calls his friend, who tells him, "Walk for about an hour, you'll find a bus stand nearby. From there, you can get away." Meanwhile, we meet Luke's sister, Charlotte, who is going through a tough time. She's stressed because her marriage is ending, and she's fighting a legal battle for her son's custody. Charlotte works at a museum, where her daily routine involves maintaining artifacts and guiding schoolchildren on tours. One day, Luke unexpectedly shows up at her workplace after so many years. Shocked, Charlotte asks, "What are you doing here?" After all this time, they share a heartfelt conversation about their childhood, where we learn that their father was a great adventurer, a man who loved discovering ancient treasures. Luke tells Charlotte that because they're their father's children, his adventurous blood runs in them too. As they talk, Luke distracts her and slips the painting head of Christ into his bag. He then makes a run for it. Charlotte chases after him out of the museum, where a fancy car waits for Luke. Against her will, Charlotte ends up getting into the car with the painting, but the police arrive in the middle of the chaos. Luke floors the accelerator and takes off, and a wild chase begins. After a tense pursuit, Luke hides the car inside a huge trailer truck to lose the police. Inside the trailer are Luke's two accomplices, Patrick and Dave. Luke hands the painting to Patrick and asks him to search it for secret clues. We'll learn later what those clues are. Meanwhile, Luke offers Charlotte a place on the team, but she refuses, insisting she won't work with thieves. Patrick, rummaging through the canvas, claims there's nothing, no obvious code. Frustrated, Luke knocks Charlotte unconscious and leaves her in a safe spot. When Charlotte wakes up at the museum later, she discovers Luke has actually returned the painting to its original place. Inspector Jamal confronts her. "If your brother stole that painting, aren't you a thief too?" Charlotte replies that if someone's property is stolen, she will tell the police everything she knows. She also makes it clear she's never liked her brother's ways. Jamal says, "Fine for now, you're free to go." Exhausted and furious, Charlotte goes home. Because of Luke's trouble, she's lost her job and failed to secure custody of her son. Enraged, she storms to Luke's hideout and accuses him of destroying her life. Luke, however, tries once more to recruit her to his scheme, and they argue again. Luke's crew includes Wen, a wealthy backer, Dave Mickle, a man who can read designs and patterns, Mr. Patrick, and others. Luke now reveals the real purpose of this daring theft. They're searching for the Fountain of Youth, a legendary magical spring said to still exist on Earth. Whoever drinks from it allegedly gains long life, cures all illness, and acquires unimaginable wealth and fame. Luke explains that finding the fountain could save Wen, who is dying of cancer. Luke reveals he's hunting the Fountain of Youth so Wen, their wealthy backer, can live again. Wen is rich enough to buy the whole city, but the fountain's secrets are locked behind dozens of codes. Those codes were hidden inside paintings scattered across the world: Malaysia, Ukraine, Australia, and more. When the paintings are placed together, together, a hidden set of letters appears. Those letters form words that point to a book containing the fountain's exact location. Wen offers Charlotte a deal. He will help her win custody of her son if she joins their team. Reluctant at first, Charlotte accepts. But there's a problem. The sixth painting they stole contains no code. It's a convincing forgery. The next day, while Luke sits in a cafe, Esme appears and confronts him. She reminds him he escaped her once in Malaysia, but asks, "How will you get away from me now?" Luke asks whom she's working for. Esme answers that she works for someone who knows everything Luke is seeking. She tells Luke the fountain has been hidden for the good of humanity and that a secret society has spent years keeping its location buried. After a stern warning, she leaves. The following day, Luke visits Charlotte at a practice session for her son, Thomas, who loves music and plays piano beautifully. After the session, Luke and Charlotte set off together on their next mission. They set sail across the Pacific on a massive ship, finally reaching Ireland, where clues suggest the real sixth painting lies hidden inside a sunken vessel. Using small submarines, they locate the wreck and attach giant air balloons to lift part of it above water. Luke and Charlotte dive inside the ship, discovering old jewelry, furniture, and relics. Deep within, they find Mr. Vandervilla's locker, and inside it, the long-lost painting. But before they can escape, Esme and her soldiers arrive, surrounding them. Charlotte, shocked, demands to know who Esme really is, realizing for the first time that Luke never told her about this secret group. A brutal fight breaks out between Luke's team and Esme's forces. Though Luke defeats several enemies, Esme corners them, holding Charlotte hostage. She threatens to kill her unless Luke surrenders the painting. Luke refuses. At the last moment, Charlotte fights back, pushing Esme away, but gunfire outside ruptures the air balloons and the wreck begins to sink fast. Wen's team manages to rescue Luke and Charlotte just in time, but tension rises. Charlotte is furious. Luke was willing to risk her life rather than give up the painting. Luke insists Esme would never kill her, that it was only a bluff. Charlotte storms off, unconvinced. The only silver lining they confirm the painting they recovered is genuine. The next day, Charlotte gets a call from her ex-husband, Frank. He says he's been offered a high-paying job in Japan for a year, meaning he can't keep Thomas. He wants Charlotte to take custody. Charlotte immediately realizes this must be Wen's doing, fulfilling his earlier promise. Later, she confronts Luke about Esme. Luke finally explains Esme belongs to the Protectors of the Path, a secret society sworn to hide the Fountain of Youth from mankind. What he doesn't admit is that he has deep feelings for her. Rejoining the team, they scan all 6 paintings. Hidden letters emerge, forming a strange symbol, but it matches no known records. Rearranging the letters, they uncover a single cryptic word: Wicket! Charlotte explains that these paintings date back to before the 1600s, during the reign of King James, who ruled over 6 kingdoms. James had published a version of the Bible, but due to several translation errors, people began calling it the Wicked Bible. That's when they realized the real clue lies inside the Wicked Bible itself. Luke says the Bible is currently located in Austria, but before they can leave, Inspector Jamal arrives and arrests the entire team. He tells Charlotte that she's made a terrible mistake by joining her brother. Now she's officially a criminal, and the government will never let her have custody of her son. Jamal examines all the stolen paintings, preparing to confiscate them, but before he can act, Kasim and his gang burst in, guns blazing. They hold Jamal's men at gunpoint. Kasim reveals he had no idea where Luke's team was hiding. He simply followed Jamal, which led him straight to them. Luke tries to strike a deal. He tells Kasim he can keep all the paintings, worth millions, if he lets his team go. Kasim agrees, but as he reaches for the paintings, Luke launches a surprise attack. Chaos breaks out. Using the distraction, Jamal's men fight back, and Luke's team escapes through a side passage. Jamal ultimately secures all the paintings for himself. Later, Luke experiences a strange vision. He feels unbearable thirst and sees the Fountain of Youth before him. As he drinks its water, he suddenly sees Charlotte and Thomas, old and dying before his eyes. Horrified, he drops the glass. Meanwhile, on the plane, Charlotte vents her pain. She confides that she left her husband after catching him with another woman, and now she never wants her son near him again. Luke listens silently, then says he's doing all this to fulfill their father's dream to reveal the Fountain of Youth to the world and make his father's name immortal. Their journey leads them to a museum in Australia, where Luke leaves Patrick outside and sneaks in. From a nearby restaurant, Thomas and Wen secretly watch them. Thomas asks how rich Wen really is, and Wen admits he's wealthier than anyone could imagine, with multiple private jets and endless resources. Inside, Luke and Charlotte meet the librarian and examine the Wicked Bible. But suddenly, Esme and her team arrive, searching for them. Luke steps out to confront her. Esme attacks first, slashing at Luke with a knife. They fight fiercely across the aisles until Esme pins Luke down, holding a gun to his head. Luke, breathing hard, says quietly, "We're both after the same goal." Esme's eyes narrow. "Our goals will never be the same." Luke was only stalling. When the moment came, he found an opening. He tripped Esme up, left her hanging, and slipped down into the library basement. He radioed his team. While Esme's soldiers searched the stacks, Luke's crew sprayed the librarian with a knockout agent and silenced him, then grabbed the Wicked Bible and slipped out through a back exit. That night, they prepared to decode the Bible's secrets. Meanwhile, Inspector Jamal discovered the large tunnel in the library, the very escape route Luke's team had used, and exploded with anger when he learned the Bible had been stolen. The team read the Bible twice but found nothing obvious. They tried matching the letters pulled from the paintings, but nothing made sense. Tension mounted. Everyone was running out of ideas. Then Thomas noticed something important. Those characters were neither words nor numbers, they were musical notes. Using his laptop, Thomas quickly converted the notes into a melody. Charlotte was stunned. Her 11-year-old had just cracked a code. Dave analyzed the tune and recognized it as a piece tied to the 7 wonders of the world. By matching the 6 words from the paintings to the 7 wonders, they finally found the lead. The Fountain of Youth is hidden inside one of the 7, an Egyptian pyramid. They set course for Egypt at once. Back with Esme, she met the protectors of the path's leader, Mr. Elder, who was furious the team had traced the clues all the way to Egypt. Elder handed Esme a mysterious key, its purpose to be revealed later. Luke's team arrived at the pyramid. He briefed everyone. They must descend beneath the structure into secret chambers. Charlotte warned them to be careful. Their father once found a golden mask in those depths, a treasure that brought fame, but he had left it there, believing some things should remain untouched. Wen, meanwhile, had brought hired muscle to guard the operation. For security, his men stayed outside while Luke and the core team entered the pyramid to begin the search. They break through the ancient wall and uncover a hidden passage leading deep into the pyramid. As they move forward, they reach a mysterious chamber. At its center lies a massive stone slab, intricately carved with ancient symbols. Everyone tries to push it aside, but it's impossibly heavy. Charlotte realizes that whoever built this place were genius engineers. They wouldn't leave something so simple to brute force. There must be a mechanism hidden somewhere. While the rest of the group argues about using explosives, Charlotte warns them that any blast could destroy the entire site. Just then, Thomas notices a series of small brass drums attached to the pillars, connected like ancient speakers. Curious, he starts tapping on them. Suddenly, a deep harmonic vibration spreads through the room. The pillars begin to resonate, and the metallic surfaces around them start shaking. The vibration grows stronger, and to everyone's shock, the enormous stone slab slowly starts to move, as if it's become weightless, light enough to shift with a single touch. Meanwhile, outside the pyramid, Patrick and Dap spot Jamal's armed team approaching. Wayne's hired thugs engage them in a violent fight. The police hesitate, they don't want bloodshed, but the mercenaries show no mercy, leaving Dap wounded. At the last moment, Esme arrives, fighting off the attackers and saving the team. Jamal joins in, furious, and together they rush toward the pyramid to stop Luke's group. Inside, Luke and his team finally open the stone door and descend a long staircase. What they find below leaves them speechless, a massive underground chasm with the legendary Fountain of Youth shimmering far beneath them. But there's a problem, the gap is too deep. Jumping means certain death. Then Luke notices a stone lever carved into the wall. He pulls it, and the ancient mechanism roars to life. From within the walls, massive stone steps unfold one by one, forming a staircase that leads down toward the glowing water. Step by step, they descend into the heart of the mystery that has consumed generations. The waterfall was almost dry, with only a little water left. Charlotte looked at Luke and said, "You wanted to come here, right? Now that you're here, test your luck." Wen added, "Yes, I want to test my luck too, but you all have suffered so much. Luke, you should drink first." But no one dared to touch the water. Who knew what danger it might hold? Then the truth came out. Wen was never sick. From the very beginning, he had been pretending. All he wanted was to live longer, to gain more fame and wealth. When Luke refused to drink, Wen shot him and threatened, "If you don't drink, I'll kill your sister and Thomas." Helpless, Luke reached for the water, but as he did, a drop of his blood fell into it. Suddenly, the water began to rise, wrapping around Luke and lifting him into the air. Now Luke had the chance to drink. If he did, he could keep his youth for many years. But just as he was about to drink, visions appeared before his eyes. He saw that if he drank the water, the two people he loved most, his sister and his nephew, would grow old and die, while he alone would live on. And Luke knew he could never do such a thing. Luke refuses to drink the water, even though his wounds heal on their own. Angry, Wen shoots him several more times, but each time, Luke heals instantly. When Luke comes down, Wen asks, "Why didn't you drink? It would only benefit you." Then Wen steps forward himself. He cuts his hand with a piece of wood and lets his blood fall into the water. Just like before, the process begins, and now Wen has the chance to drink. Meanwhile, Esme and Jamal are watching everything from above. Esme takes out the key that the elder had given her. The key's true purpose is revealed. It can seal the fountain of youth forever once someone reaches it. Using the key, Esme opens a hidden door that leads her to destroy the fountain. On the other side, Wen realizes a dark truth. He doesn't love anyone in this world. He only loves himself. He only cares about his own life. That means if he drinks the water, he will grow old instead of staying young. But Wen believes he will still gain power, so he finally drinks it. The moment he does, the opposite effect begins. Instead of youth, Wen rapidly ages and dies right there. At the same time, Esme rings the bell that destroys the fountain of youth. Everyone runs for their lives. They manage to escape safely before the place collapses. Officer Jamal, now knowing why Luke had stolen the paintings, decides to let him go. He puts all the blame on Wen, who is already dead. By now, Esme has secretly started to like Luke. As they leave, she gives him a goodbye kiss. Then, together, they all return home. And this is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending time here. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more every week. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload.